What's good, everyone? This is DJ's Raw Uncut Truth, giving you that raw content that you deservedly need, representing that new media, nation united. It's a family, and I'm joined by Coach Joe. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing wonderful, DJ. How you doing tonight?
Man, I feel blessed, energized, and it's a great show. Um, Tonight we had earlier we watched a entertaining game, Celtics versus Pelicans. The Pelicans had a good start like they always do. And then in the second half, they were getting blown out and they were losing by 24 points. But the good thing about the Pelicans, they play hard. Their problem is finishing games. And they were able to overcome a 24-point deficit. It was so bad in that game, Coach. We were talking about other stuff. Because there was nothing really entertaining. It was just depressing. Very depressing.
I'm gonna tell you. You know what it reminds me of, DJ, is sometimes in long movies, they didn't quite live up to, they didn't quite capture your attention the whole movie. You might have wandered a little bit, or just paused it a little bit too, a couple more times than you normally would, because you're trying to get through the slow parts, if you will. And to me, that's the thing with young teams. It's very difficult for them to sustain an effort for 48 minutes. That's a long time with fouls and commercials. That's a long time to play a game. It's a long time to stay focused. And so that's what we saw. That's why you usually see a tale of two halves. Thank you for that, Edgar Allan Poe, for that Tales of Two Cities. You're gonna often see that, with these guys. You know what I mean? With these young teams, and so that's why I'm trying to reframe the what we're watching. And put it where it properly is today. This is entertainment. Especially during the regular season. It's a grind. It's entertainment. I look at that these guys are like an actor's troupe, if you will, on Broadway, if you will, or it's traveling around the country or the world, doing shows 6 months here, 3-4 months there, whatever. I see this as similar. They putting on a product every night. Someone's playing, and this is this is their show. So I happen to like the product they putting out. Sometimes I don't agree with the level of it all the time, but I love the product. Love these young brothers putting it down.
Good, and I know we have been harsh on Zion's defense, but there were key moments in the game that Zion really stepped up on both ends of the court. He was very aggressive. Zion was a man amongst boys. And let me address this real quick, Coach. 704 Bound Charlotte is a new Media Nation United member. He says, DJ, will you make a video on the kid disrespecting Cam? Definitely going to make a video about that, because we're going to show you the difference between being house trained and not. And what that kid did was disrespectful. Imagine talking mess to someone hosting a camp for kids, giving back. But yeah, look out for that video. But back to the game, Zion showed a lot of maturity. Josh Hart, he played very gritty. He was very important for this game. Lonzo. He is averaging 17.5 points per game, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. And his average scoring went up to 14.3, Coach. So he's really up in his game. And I said before the season, believe it or not, that Lonzo needs to average 15 a game to get the bag. Now, he's going to get the bag anyway because he can play defense at an elite level. And there's a lot of teams that need a guard like Lonzo Ball. Clippers. Yeah, this is one of the teams. But I was impressed. And Adam Hearn, I heard about that too. Dion got his win and somebody stolen his stuff. They say he got it back. Can't have nice things for sure. But shout out to Deion Sanders on his first win. And many more. Shout out to all the HBCUs, all the brothers who are coaches out there who are holding it down. But yeah, Coach, what was some of the things you saw from Zoe that you were impressed with tonight?
I'm gonna tell you, Zoe's game to me tonight looked like, kind of uneven. He had some. His playing time in the second half was more herky jerky than it was in the first half. And so, we've spoken about this a lot with Zoe and NBA players. They need to know. It's important for them to know how many minutes they're going to get, what's expected of them, that kind of thing. It helps with the continuity. Van Gundy's handling of Zoe's playing time in the second half was uneven, and I think Zoe's play reflected it. However, in the fourth quarter, which is winning time, I thought Zoe made some winning plays and stayed engaged. Even though he wasn't scoring, he stayed engaged, doing the things that he knows how to do.
Was lower my expectations of his. So I had him at the area of a 15-point score at times. That's why I predicted this game. It's crazy. I said, Coach, I was like, Lonzo's gonna have 16 points in this game, and he had 16 points and 6 assists.
Yes, you hit it right on the head.
And it really helps me not to get bent out of shape on Lonzo by me knowing that he's a defensive specialist and that can get you more than 10 points and a couple of assists. I'm fine with it. It allows me to not lose my mind and trying to have Lonzo something that he's not. So by me seeing that, I appreciate Lonzo's game more. I appreciate his top-notch defense, and I think he's a first-team defender in my opinion. He better be.
I hear you, DJ. I see. I see it a little bit different. When I've talked to players and prospects over the years, what I would say to them would always depend upon their situation, but which door to me they were coming through. There's about a few doors to come through when you come in the NBA. You can come through the front door. That's the draft picks, the lottery picks. Those are the staples, if you will, of the stable. The front door, and then you got the side door. Those are the second round picks, and folks that are not relegated to the back. And then there's the back door, and those are the free agents. And you have to come in. You don't get drafted. You got to go the long route of Europe and other places in the world to hone your craft. So what I do is like with Zoe, when after the first couple years of a young NBA guy's career, you will know in the first couple years if this guy's going to be generational, or if he's going to be an all-star, or if he's going to be a good role player. If he's got some skills that are automatically keep him there. So for Zoe, what I'm looking for from him, because of where he is in his development, how many years he's been in the league, he's getting ready to play a second contract. I'm looking for consistency from him. That's the stable of a good pro, a good professional, and that's what I like to see Zoe go into. Somebody who is consistent in his role, consistent in his play, so that he can play a long time in this league. Because I think the league needs his talent.
Right on. Taufik Saka says Melo's draft was a blessing in disguise for Lonzo, and if Lonzo needs someone who can create for themselves and others to succeed, DJ, would you and Coach believe that the Clippers will be a fit for him? Yeah, I think the Clippers would be a great fit for him. Matter of fact, if you go on Twitter or any social media and you type in the name Lonzo Clippers, you will see a lot of Clipper fans wanting to have Lonzo Ball because they know, like I know, that he is their missing piece. He's definitely someone who can allow Paul George and Kawhi not to play point forward at times. For those who are listening, not Paul George, but Kawhi Leonard, he doesn't want to be a point forward time to time. He's made it pretty obvious with that. I think it's a match made in heaven, but then again, will Rich Paul help Lonzo to get to the Clippers? I don't know.
Well, you know what? My feeling on that, DJ, is that I've said before on the record that I think that he could go there, and the reasons that you just enumerated, I agree with those. And the other one is I think there's some good mentors there. I think Ty Lue would be a good mentor for Lonzo,
Right.
in terms of being a support and a mentor to him, and someone who encourages him, who Lonzo knows played the same position as him, played in the league like him. And then I think Sam Cassell is still on that bench too, or maybe no, Sam might be with. He might have traveled with Doc, but I got to see who else is on that Clipper bench. I haven't really seen, but I think that having Ty Lue would go a long way in helping Lonzo feel comfortable with the
Exactly.
Clippers. So that's what I think.
Man, I wish I would have said that. Yeah, Ty Lue. That would be the best type of coach Lonzo would ever have. It's him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a player's coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how Ty Lue communicates with his players, no matter if they're a superstar or just a regular role player. It's the same energy.
Yeah. See, Ty Lue was a point guard, so he knows that he knows that was a part of his career. His job. Got to be able to communicate.
Right on. And shout out to Sam Cassell. I really feel like he should have been a head coach by now, but we know how within the game goes. But salute to him. He'll eventually become a head coach. Hopefully sooner than later. And read some of these comments. Be Good to Life says it was good Stan Van Gundy showed Zoe he had confidence in him by leaving him in the game during crunch time. Yeah, that's good for him, but he needs to get Lonzo more involved and stop playing him like a damn 3-and-D wing. Let him be a point guard. I want to see more from Stan and not this 1990 style of offense that they've been running. It's crazy, Coach. The Pelicans play an old style offense and still has one of the worst defenses in the league. It just bugs my mind when I see that. It makes no damn sense at all. Sam.
See, DJ. What I think to me, what I hear you saying is is expressing your frustration with people who are sitting in leadership positions who don't have leadership skills.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. See, family. This is what we're talking about here. We ain't trying to trash nobody's career and nobody take any hard work away from anybody who puts in hard work. Okay, but at the same time, we don't have to embellish what's going on either, and pretend like we don't know what's really going on. See, the business. Well, that's all I'm gonna say for right now. So that's it right now.
Urza Anthony says, "Did you hear about the T-Wolves coach? Yeah, he got fired already. Like, how many times you see that in the NBA? Wow. And I heard they already signed a coach already.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to get fired. Well, that's Flip Saunders' son, and he was a part of the old regime. And that new guy that's in there, he wasn't his hire. So, the writing was on the wall for him. That's why I got so much. I'm pumped for the Saunders dude, because he gave Anthony Edwards a chance to shine and an opportunity to shine, even though he knew he was going to be fired. He knew that, but he wasn't going to try to save his job by dumping on a rookie so that he can protect his job. In other words, the rookie is going to make mistakes. The rookie is not going to give you what a veteran's going to give you, but it's the right thing to do, and he did that, and he fell on the sword. So, I'm pumped for the Sanders dude. I know he'll land back on his feet, but yeah, he was on the way out anyway. And the dude they hired is going to be another guy from who's sitting on Toronto's bench named Finch, I think his name is, and he has connections with the general manager dude from their time together some years ago in another organization in the G League. See, so this is just basically that friendism, that kind of thing, all that. Friends hiring friends. That's basically what it is. That's how they've been able to keep it the way it is.
So they're friends. One more than can depend on.
That's right. Friends. That's right.
Hey, Coach, did you see that Clippers versus Nets game?
I saw the fourth quarter.
And without Kevin Durant.
Yeah, came in LA and spanked both them LA teams.
I've been telling people, do not sleep on the Nets.
And without Kevin.
What'd you say, Coach?
And without Kevin.
Yes.
But I'm of the school of thought though that I don't think that that makes it more complicated. Okay, to be honest. See. There's a such thing to me as overkill, and the Nets are, to me, close to that. They really have to show me. I'm not gonna give them. I'm not gonna give them nothing yet until they show me in a setting where you can go home. Then I'll believe, because it's only one ball, and all three of them dudes are high usage players. All three of them dudes can get their own shot. All three of them dudes are used to being in a role where they got their own shots and they were the number one options, or 1A in Kyrie's case with LeBron. And so it's hard to teach old dogs new tricks. So I'm not going crown them with anything. And of course it would be very difficult to play against this team in the regular season, because teams is playing every other day, and ain't nobody really spending too much time game planning against anybody. It's just skeleton walkthroughs and stuff like that. You just, going off of stuff that, little few key points here and there you want people to be in mind about. But everybody watches film, everybody sees, what everybody's doing. So they have a lot of firepower, more than anybody else in the NBA right now. Okay, and so on any given night, two of them dudes are really good. Tonight's game, you see that Harden and Kyrie scored well, shot well, and they got some good contributions from Harris again, who was a former three-point shoot champ. So they got that dude that can shoot wide open jumpers every doggone day, all day almost. So but when it's playoff time and people can set their game plan and study you and get used to your tendencies and stuff like that, then chemistry comes in a lot more. And we saw that with the Clippers last year in the bubble. That when the going got tough, they couldn't sustain because they didn't have the track record. They hadn't built up the chemistry. So.
Taufik says, as a Laker fan, I disagree with Adam Hearn. You have to take onto account that AD and LeBron have the heart to make the playoff series competitive and will still win a ring. I'm going to be very honest with everybody. I don't know who's going to win it all. I truly don't know. Yeah, the Lakers won it last year, but a lot of teams have improved. And how healthy is AD going to be? Coach, I've been wanting to ask you this. Who are the top two teams right now that, from your eyes?
It's really hard to say because the heavyweights, Lakers, Clippers, Utah, Portland, Milwaukee, Nets, Philly. These teams, many of them are still hung over from the bubble, physically and emotionally. You can never underestimate a routine and their routine and their ability to recover and recoup mentally and physically was extremely compromised this year. So I think that's why we're seeing all this uneven play. Denver lost today, I think. They're playing very uneven. So I think that we're not going to see who really. I don't think I can really answer that question until we get to about a month out from the season, when teams start feeling mentally a lot better because they can see the end of the tunnel coming. Their juices are starting to flow. Their routine is starting to hard. And I think around that time, we're going to see bigger crowds and that kind of thing as well. So give me about a month outside the season, before the season's over. And I can give you, I can have a better idea.
Because I know this sounds crazy.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I know this sounds crazy, but despite the record, and it's still a good record, I think the Clippers improved than what they were last year. I know they lost to the Hornets, but I see something there with that team. I pray, I hope, I just want to see them go against the Lakers in the playoffs. I got to see it. I got to see what it looks like. But Serge Ibaka is definitely an upgrade than Montrezl Harrell. We know Harrell can score in the paint, got the mid-range, we get all that. But Ibaka serves a purpose on the defense end that the Clippers did not have in the paint.
Well, Ibaka's a champion.
Right.
So they certainly didn't have a champion in the paint. They didn't.
Coach killing it already, man.
So I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get illogical and irrational for a moment. Okay. And y'all, please, can y'all, anybody want to take shots, take them. I'm accepting all shots, all smoke. The Clippers, to me, are cursed. They will never win anything. Okay, they are cursed to me. They have, by their last owner, and all those years of concentrated, on purpose, disrespect to the game, disrespect to the players, and using the NBA as purely a part of your portfolio, I think the basketball gods have cursed the Clippers. And that whenever they look like they're going to get they're going to have a breakthrough. They're going to do something they've never done. Something inexplicable will always show up and appear to just crash it, okay, and make it not be. Because last year, to me, was just a nail in the coffin to me. There is no reason up 3-1 that team should have gotten walked down by that Denver team the way that they did. There's no reason no logical explanation at all anybody can offer. Okay. That's, to me, a curse. I mean, we saw Kawhi carry the Toronto team to the championship, making big shots after big shots, carrying the team, being Kawhi. He disappeared. Robin disappeared, and Paul George, he disappeared. All the sphincters got tight, and Kawhi didn't have a history of being tight like that. But there's something about them. There's something about that Clip man being in that Clipper uniform, man. I'm telling you, I've seen it too much. Their players get hurt, or they leave, or they. I mean, when they had Chris Paul and Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, and them dudes in their prime. I mean, come on, man. They had a three-headed monster. When everybody didn't have three-headed monsters. Okay, one of the best rim runners, big dudes, and DeAndre Blake was a monster down there on the box, and Chris Paul is the general, and they couldn't get to the finals. And they was up, and like the Houston series, they shouldn't have lost. It just seems like something always happens. Just you can't explain. Just leave you scratching your head, going, "Damn, wow." That's because they cursed.
Man, remember those random hamstring injuries that Chris Paul will get out of nowhere in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Boy, those Lob City teams were talented, man.
See, so to me, they got a lot to overcome. You know what I mean? Because they got a lot of energy that has been stored up in frustration that expects them to lose. And I am a firm believer in when cities get behind their teams and support them, and you got a lot of people that are thinking about them and wishing them well. I think that has an effect on them. I really do. See, and I think it's the same when they think that you gonna always be like the dude on the Gulliver's Travel, the same tune all the time. Oh no, we'll never make it. We're doomed. That little dude, he used to always say the same thing. We ain't gonna make it. We doomed. And I think that's the Clippers, and I think it's the Clipper Nation too.
Man, you got Wealth Engineering saying maybe Lonzo should not go there.
Well, that's why it's so problematic. I must say, family. That's why when I say it, I think that's the best fit for him. I say it with not a joy. Y'all don't hear me being happy about it when I say it. Like, yeah, that's where Lonzo should go. Yeah, he'll get off there and they'll let him play. You don't hear me talking like that. Because I believe they cursed, man. And anybody that go there and start having success, something gonna happen to you. just out the blue.
Now, Coach, people are saying that Kawhi shouldn't have left Toronto, but that wasn't a basketball decision. I think Kawhi leaving Toronto was all about family.
I can't tell you. I don't have anybody close to his that I know is close to his people. But what I can just glean from it is that just looking at because I've followed Kawhi and been around. I mean, watching Kawhi since he was in high school here in Southern California, and just knowing what I know about him, I couldn't never see him staying in a foreign country. He ain't one of them kind of kids. To me, see, y'all remember when George Bush was the second George Bush, when he became president, he used to brag about having never traveled outside the country until he became president, because he said, "Why would I need to go anywhere else? Because I'm an American and everything I need is here." And people are like going, "What? You mean you've been wealthy all the time? You what? You've never used your passport? What? That just sounds silly." But I just remember so many people chiming in, "Yep, that's right. Yeah, I agree with him. I agree with that sentiment." And there are people like that. That's Kawhi to me. He's one of them kind of people. Simple, not complicated, don't need a lot, don't require a lot. No fuss for the most part. Just, quiet and just just going about their business. That's Kawhi to me. And that's what the Clippers, to me, the Clippers, the curse is working, because in order to overcome the history that the Clippers have had, you have to have strong leadership in your locker room. You must have strong organization to overcome that. You got to change, turn a big ship around, a big momentum of the way things have been going. And Kawhi is not, he's not that kind of a leader. And Paul George isn't either. I mean, you got a game that requires people to communicate, and you got your two best players that are not communicators. Okay.
But yeah, shout out to Kawhi Leonard. I know he plays for a team I dislike, but that's me being a Laker fan. But I always respect the professionalism, him doing his own thing. He's not about clout. And definitely a person that Paul George could learn a thing or two. Not a big fan of Paul George. I hate how he makes excuses for every single thing. But now that you're telling me, Coach, about the curse, and I knew it was there, and until I see the Clippers break the curse, they're gonna still be the team that's cursed, and be like the black cat of the NBA. Something always happens.
I mean, I also just call me a little jaded in this way too, because I grew up in the Chicago area and in the city, and I know that the Cubs, when I was growing up as a kid, they sucked all my life. They never was ever good, ever any good. And anytime they had started out good or looked like they was gonna be, promising, something would happen invariably, and they would just send them right back to the dungeon. Okay, of suckability, just stink. And what happens is that's a culture too. So you can develop a culture around mediocrity. I watched the Cubs do that, because Chicago is a large city and a tourist attraction. In the summer times, that's a tourist also attraction, Wrigley Field, because it's an old stadium. And so the Cubs market it like that. So they get a lot of fans. They get great fan support. They sell out all the time and have been for years. So they never cared about putting a winner on the field. So what winner? The bottom line is happening. We don't need that. Why pay contracts? Pay big money? Well, no, we don't pay big money. No. We're not interested in that. Our turnstiles work really well, and the people buy the concessions and everything else pretty well. We like it just the way it is. That's a lot of teams take that position. And so Steve Ballmer coming in is a complete opposite than that other guy. So that's a step in the right direction, obviously, I think. And his energy, I mean, I'm just watching the game here a little bit, and then on the sidelines, he over there dancing in his seat, legs all up in the air. You would think this dude he looked like some drunk. He looks like the uncle at the party that just have all the fun because he had a few too many. And he's just one of them happy people. That's what he seemed like. He don't seem like he a billionaire.
Coach, some people online, a lot of people make fun of him doing all that, and I appreciate it. He shows that he cares about basketball. He cares about the game, cares about the fans and what they think. And you rather have owners like Steve Ballmer than these shine owners that we see in the NFL and some in the NBA who are narcissists and don't know how to run an organization.
Well, he clearly knows how to run an organization that coming from Microsoft. So
absolutely.
Looking at their stock price, right? And what it has been. Look at so he clearly knows what he's doing, and he clearly could give two flying fingers what anybody else thinks about what he's doing, because he ain't changed to me one bit from the moment he bought this team. He is Uncle Fester from the Addams Family, and I love him.
Oh Lord. So, he said Uncle Fester.
Yeah, that's Uncle Fester right there. And he just have himself a ball, as he should. It's his team. He paid $2 billion for it. Okay, and he can sit there and look like he just finished painting a living room in his painter clothes all he want, and to kick his legs up in the air and act like he at a bar in the South Bay. It's okay. I love that about him. And he loved his team. He cheered them rain. You can tell when you can tell he a real fan. When they lose, he be mad. He be sitting there pouting. Uncle Fester be mad as hell. And it's like, he's a fan. Plus, so I love that. I love that. So I ain't mad at Uncle Fester. But his and I understand that he thinks that he needs to do something too. That's why they got all them people over there. They didn't brought Jerry West in to bring his juju. They hired Tyronn Lue, who's a championship coach for his juju. He trying to change it. You can believe that. But it's gonna be hard to change that, man, because that dude, he ran this organization in the ground for over 30 years, guys. That's a long time for the same old thing. We used to go to the place where he played, the old sports arena, to see other teams play. Nobody cheered for the Clippers, and you'd buy a $5 ticket. That's how it was. You'd buy a $5 ticket for the nosebleed, and what nobody in the stadium, so you could go down and sit probably on the floor sometime with a $5 ticket, and the ushers wouldn't stop you from coming, and nobody wouldn't care. It was a joke. And so when they moved to the Staples Center, I was like, oh my God. Talk about the Beverly Hillbillies going to Beverly Hills. Oh my stars. And so Ballmer realizes that they got to change something. And that's why they're getting out of the Staples Center. He building their own facilities like he should, because he has the resources to. Okay, they should have their own facility to play at, not be playing under the Lakers banners when you have a guy who's worth 30 or 40 or 50 billion dollars. Come on, man, this is silly. They should have their own infrastructure. So that's what he's doing, and that will change it. Maybe I think that was when I'll start looking at them differently, when they stop all that carpet bagging, all that coattail riding. Stand on your own. You ain't got to be acting like you sorry and excuse me. Dude is a billionaire, one of the richest dudes in sports, man. Do your thing.
You know who else is a good owner? He's in the NFL. Stephen Ross, billionaire, philanthropist.
Who is he
for
with?
The Dolphins? Owner for the Dolphins. He doesn't act like an NFL owner. He acts like a human being. So I could respect that. Unlike the owner of my team, the Dallas Cowboys, you know what he's about.
Man, don't get me talking about that dude, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna close that. But Taufik says, man.
Because hold on. Let me say something nice about the Cowboys. Butch Johnson, you remember him?
Back in the 80s?
Yes, wide receiver.
Yeah.
He taught me how to catch the ball over my head and not let the ball go through my arms. I used to love the Dallas Cowboys. That dude ruined my experience. And that's all I'm going to say.
And I'm going to leave it by this, Coach. The players that played for the Dallas Cowboys, you don't hear too many people say anything bad about them, even if their lives are not perfect. You know, they get in trouble with the law. We get all that. But they were good dudes, man. And it's just a shame that a tyrant owner wants to ruin a good thing because he want to be right. We ain't won shit since he let go of Jimmy Johnson because he didn't get enough credit.
Can I tell you a story about that, DJ?
Oh, absolutely.
Remember Russell, Maryland?
Oh boy, D tackle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, came out of University of Maryland. Well, he's from Chicago, and I found out from some of his people that the book on Jimmy Johnson and some people shared with me just how far he would stick his neck out to protect our boys down there in that fishbowl in Miami when they was down there changing the culture. Okay. I got mad love for Jimmy for Jimmy Johnson, for looking after our boys, not sacrificing, not using them. So when he got to Dallas, I was just happy, man. Come on, man. He brought some of his boys with him, and they built that winning culture and everything. Again, with the motto, taking care of the players. And then what this cluck go and do? Man, don't get me started, man. And that's why they ain't did nothing since. Okay, and they ain't gonna do nothing since. Because now he doing that nonsense with Dak. When Dak put his neck out on the line for him. So, man, whatever. It's redundant talking about this.
Wealth Engineer says, DJ, what do you think about Mark Cuban? Mark Cuban is Mark Cuban. I mean, I don't think he's too bad. I don't think he's just Mark Cuban in my eyes. When he was talking about he's definitely in love with foreign players. When he made that assertion that foreign players are better because they're smarter than American players, I didn't like that comment. And I see why Dennis Smith Jr. didn't like that bullshit either, because it's a stereotype. It's just like what the Spurs be doing. Oh, I don't want American players because you can't coach them. That is a damn lie. The truth is, there are smart players and there are dumb players, no matter if they're international or American. But the American players, they're more aware. They're not going to let you try to politrick them through their whole career. What you think about Mark Cuban, Coach?
A sheep in wolf's clothing. I mean, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Right on. Right on.
Seen that, been there, done that, ain't fooled. Ain't fooled.
Coach, I'm originally from Texas, and people always tell me, man, Mark Cuban's a great owner. I said, shit. If that's great, then I don't know what great is.
Well, no. If that's great, then hide the women and children. Before that, get on it. That greatness. See, Mark is a great communicator. He knows how to move people's opinions and stuff. He knows how to. The thing you talk about with Pop. You know what I saw that cracked me up about Steve Ballmer in this Knick game? Do you know he was trolling DeAndre Jordan at the free throw line at the end of the game? He was sitting under the basket, being a one-man distraction, kicking his legs up in the air and clapping his hands. And, you know. Oh, man. You can't buy that. Okay, so you can't invent nothing like that. That's just pure. That's just real, and I appreciate it for what it is. And I'm gonna tell you what I haven't heard either. I have not heard that Steve Ballmer is a meddling owner into his coaches and into the people who make the general manager that he hires and stuff. I've heard that Steve lets people, he delegates, he hires, and he lets people do their job. And you sink or swim doing your job. He makes sure he gives them all the resources, and they have to be accountable for. He makes sure he provides all the resources for them to do the job. And so he wants results in that way, obviously. But I haven't heard him. And if he was a meddler, it would have come out by now. People would have been talking a long time ago because he's been the owner for a little while now. It wasn't just yesterday, right?
Right. Hey, Coach, Steve Ballmer is one of those owners. I'm going to make my moves, and I'm going to hire the people. I'm going to get the F out the way.
Right.
And he's done everything right. Even if the Clippers do not win it all this year, Steve Ballmer, and I'm saying this first, did everything an owner is supposed to do. Got you experience in people who know how to team build, which is Jerry West. Coaching top of the line with Ty Lue. Top-notch assistants with Chauncey Billups and Sam Cassell. Players. Kawhi, Paul George.
Thank you, DJ, for that. Yes, DJ. Thank you for that. I couldn't remember. I knew it was somebody on that bench, a former player. Chauncey's on that bench now. And that would be a great help to Lonzo if he went to the Clippers.
Yeah, Chauncey been to 4 teams before he found a home in Detroit.
Right. So so see how that would be perfect if he went there. That would be the universe to me throwing Lonzo a bone. To have somebody like Chauncey, who was a lottery pick, whose Lonzo's career would mimic in some ways his trajectory. So that's very. Thank you for reminding me of that, DJ. Oh, I want to say a shout out to Adam Hearn said today was Malcolm X's birthday. That's right, and happy birthday to Malcolm. He was an incredible brother, a mentor from afar to me, somebody I looked up to as a kid, and his legacy hopefully will live on forever. He was an amazing brother, and America produced him. So,
yeah, R.I.P. to the Honorable Malcolm X, Minister Shabazz, brother who understood leadership, compassion, and truth. His legacy will live forever because even though the government and the books may not showcase him a lot, we know the truth. And the truth is Malcolm X, and I I'm gonna get some flack. He's the greatest leader I've ever seen. From what I've seen on interviews, and thank God for YouTube, we could see all that stuff. He was an ultimate leader, and the FBI and everybody else was trying to get everything on him, and they couldn't get it. He was one of the few. Did you know that Malcolm X was one of the few civil rights leaders who the FBI couldn't find one thing on him? The only thing they know is what he did before he got with the Nation of Islam. But after that, never did drugs, never did anything. And he was a family man. He may not have a government, quote unquote, holiday, but his spirit and his message will live forever.
That was well said, my brother. And I thank you, DJ, for saying that, my brother. To be honest with you, for myself, there's certain people I don't talk about too much who were very important to me. I hold in my heart, and he's one of them. I'm still mad about what happened to him all these years later, so I don't talk much about in public about how I feel about Malcolm.
Understand. My father was like that too, Coach. He used to always tell us, man, when it comes to Malcolm, he would always say there's nothing else to say. That it irked him. A lot of people were pissed, man. When Malcolm X died, when he was assassinated. My bad. When he was assassinated.
When he was assassinated, right, exactly. Yeah, when I was little growing up, high yellow like I am, the sun would make my hair look red and highlight. So they used to call me Little Red when I was some of the older adults, and I never backed down. I could tell you, I love to read and plus play sports and do all that other stuff, and I would debate anybody. So yeah, I love Malcolm. He was an amazing. Oh my God, he was a beautiful man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, shout out to all the leaders out there for improving our communities, trying to, it's crazy. It's 2021. We out here still trying to speak about our rights and this and that. But it's still going on. But it tells you that we have the most mentally strong people in the history of the world. For what we and our ancestors dealt with to still rise, just shows how strong we are.
Facts.
And I'll leave it off by saying this. We've been listening for 400 years or even more. We've been listening, doing what the oppressor says. But now it's time to stop doing all the listening and start doing. And it doesn't have to be quote unquote radical. You know how some people be mixing up words. But it could do it by action, supporting each other, supporting Black businesses, being there when trouble arises, creating power within our own. And I have a saying, instead of wanting to be at the big seat of the table, let's create our own. Let me read. Kenneth says, less Martin and more Malcolm. The Martin Luther King that they brainwashed us in schools, that's not the true Martin Luther King. After Malcolm X died, assassinated, by the way, Dr. King became the most loved to the most hated by the oppressor, because Dr. King got quote unquote radical. That's what they said. And Dr. King started to sound like Malcolm. And then 2 years later, he got assassinated. Look at Dr. King's speeches in 1967. A lot different than the I Have a Dream speech. Or the speech he said, I feel like I'm integrating my people into a burning house. He said that because he was promised some things to black folks if they did integration. And when he found out that Lyndon Baines Johnson lied to him, he made that remark. Sorry, Coach, for being too real.
No, you ain't being too real. I love it, my brother. A young brother like you as well, my brother. With the command and the knowledge and the boldness to talk about it and stand on it. I'm sitting over here smiling. See, because look, I'm not in delusion land at all. I'm on the back end of it for me. Of this journey. I'm on the last third of it. And so I'm gonna make the most of it where hopefully, where I am. But I'm not in illusion land about it. This is y'all time. It's you young people. This is for y'all time and my kids' times. I was talking to my daughter today. She's 31 years old, and we're talking about business and stuff. And some other things. Y'all time. Y'all have the power and the energy to make change and make it better for everybody else. So anything, whatever I can do to help in that process, because my generation, to me, is responsible for partly responsible for not continuing the fight to make America the country that it was created to be, and sat on our laurels and accepted the crumbs that came off the table as more to come, not understanding that that's not the way it works. That you have to continue to work toward for the good of the country. You got to continue to work toward perfecting the union, because this is an idea. This isn't some word of the Most High come down and cemented on everybody's heart. The Constitution, no, it's not. It's an idea that must be lived, must be fulfilled, must be ratified, must continue to be affirmed. Benjamin Franklin said at the end of it, when they finished it, because he was the OG sitting in the room while the young dudes. See, a lot of people fantasize and romanticize how the Constitution was written, the Continental Constitution, and these laws, and who was a part of it. But I'm just going to say that Benjamin Franklin, the OG, sitting there supervising the whole thing. At the end of it, he said, "Well, you got a republic now. Let's see if you can keep it." And we've been seeing if we can keep it since that day to now, and we're still trying to see if we can keep it. And it hasn't been concluded yet that we can keep it, because there are elements in this country that do not want us to keep it. They want things to go back to the way they were pre-Constitution and pre the Declaration of Independence. So, and we must fight against that. All of us, all people of goodwill.
So true, my brother. So true. And Kenneth McKinney, yeah, it was the speech where MLK was talking about we were castrated in our own land. That speech. And the powers that be didn't like that. But Big Spell One says Martin was different after the end of his life. Martin started talking about reparations, and he mysteriously was killed afterwards. And you know what? Martin was very smart. He never said the word reparations, but he said things that equaled up to reparations. And once the powers that be picked up on that, it was gone. But I love.
But hey, DJ, but he did say something. He did say, use a word that denotes reparations, without a doubt. And he said, "We coming for our check."
Yeah, he did say that.
Okay, that's direct. What is a check? He said America has written us a check that we tried to cash that came back as insufficient funds. It bounced. You promised us that we were going to get XYZ, and then we went to go cash it. It didn't have it was a rubber check. We want our check. That's what he said. That's reparations.
Oh boy, Kenneth Murray went deep on this one. All I could say is when that incident happened, he was still moving at the scene. So what you're saying is, I could definitely believe that. Or as I should say, I definitely do believe what you're saying. Boy, this channel's too real. This channel. Lucky, I like what you said. Talk that talk, man. Lucky, John says we coming to get our check. No doubt. And I don't care.
That's right.
And coach, I don't care if this one brother makes good money or this one sister make good money or don't make good. They owe us for building America. I know a lot of people may not like this, but America owes descendants of slaves in the high trillions.
Facts. But there are economists on record who have done this work. Dr. Darity and it's a dude out of France too that did some work. I'm trying to think his name. I see his face. And it's in absolutely. It's some say upwards of 19 to 20 trillion dollars. Just know this, family. Okay. In the 1800s, the height of slavery, 3 slaves were worth a house. Okay. So do the math in your head. 3 slaves was worth a house. So what does that tell you? Say, New York City was the hub, one of the major hubs of not just finances of all of other textiles and agriculture, but it was a huge seller of slaves as well. Slaves built New York, built Washington, D.C., built the South. The economy that America was able to enjoy, the infrastructure for it to take a step to go and take over from Europe in a very short time after World War II was because of the head start that they got of 200 and something, at that point, 200, almost 300 years of slavery, of free labor. See, what you guys have to understand is that this is not about any individual person or people. This is about a system that a lot of people through the generations have set up and kept in place, and their descendants have kept in place, and many of them without knowledge of keeping it in place. Some of them with the knowledge of keeping it in place, but many of them not. See, before Donald Trump, remember guys, before Donald Trump came into office, in order for any stimulus packages or anything to pass Congress, remember before that, it was always a bunch of nonsense and shenanigans going on. gotta argue and fight, and we can't get it done, and this person got to vote. Now everyone got them to come along and all that. What did Donald Trump, when he was in office, what did he do? He said, you know what, I don't like all that stuff. That's red tape. Okay, let's just get it done. I'll sign it. Let's just get it done. How much we need? Okay, let's go. You didn't hear not one Republican or one conservative say anything about the deficit, like they always do at this time. None of that. Stimulus come out, the trillion, this $1 trillion, this $1 trillion, this one 500 million, this one. Nobody said anything about it. They got to do flips for it. Nobody. Happened. Y'all in America got those checks. That money coming into your accounts. And it didn't take a whole lot to get it. You just had to go on the website and put your name, on the IRS website, put your name in. And they sent it to you, your information. Wasn't that difficult at all.
Coach.
But now that the Democrats in, I'm gonna finish right here, DJ. Now the Democrats are in, look how long it's taken us since they've been in office to get this check. They still talking about it. Okay, still discussing it. And they're in charge of the White House, the Senate, and the Congress. They're in charge of all of the bodies, executive, the legislative, and the two main bodies. And they ain't did nothing. Go ahead, DJ.
Oh man, you hitting all cylinders. I was telling a lot of our folks, I said, do not worship these politicians. I said, after this election, they're not going to be doing anything for you. Oh, yeah, of course. They're for the people. You had Biden switch up. He promised $50,000 cut in student loans. Now he reneged on it and said he had to do something at 10,000. And I told people, when you trust in politicians, I'm not saying don't vote. That's not what I'm saying. But be aware. Wolf in sheep's clothing. I remember my father used to tell me, the same person you think is by your side is plotting on your downfall. Trust no one.
DJ, let me say this, my brother. 1 + 1 is 2 in America, Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, Central America, all over the world. 1 + 1 is 2. Okay, we ain't talking about nothing complicated here. What we're talking about is simple. 1 + 1 is 2. Okay, and they want to try to make it be algebra or calculus or trigonometry or something else. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. We print our own money here. We didn't do like the European Union. We didn't give up our ability to print our own money, which means we can control inflation. We got our own Fed. See, this is nonsense. The reason reparations and the issue of slavery and Jim and Jane Crow need to be addressed and have to be addressed is because it's ruining the nation. Because it's a nasty, nasty juju that's hanging on to this country. And we're never going to have peace. We're never going to be what we can be as a nation with this in our closet, continuing to try to act like it didn't really happen. When Barack Obama was in office, the average household wealth of white Americans gained $35 trillion. White American households own over $100 trillion in wealth. And it didn't happen out of magic and Harry Potter. It happened because people put programs in place. They put policies in place for this to happen. Black people in this country who built this country have about $3 trillion in wealth. And it's in the hands of baby boomers and athletes and entertainers. With the vast majority of Black people worth household wealth worth less than $1 a day, have no wealth, live in apartments, don't own housing, don't have stocks, don't have 401ks, not a part of the system. This is what is going on and has been going on, and it's getting worse. And this is the reason new media needs to come out, because there are white brothers and sisters on this country who are suffering as well under this nonsense, that this game that we've been playing of divide and conquer, because that's what's going on. That's what we're talking about with Melo and Zoe. We can see the games being played with Van Gundy and the games being played with Borrego to do what? Divide, to conquer, to keep weak so that they can manipulate, control, and not allow the natural progression to take place that the Most High set up for everybody to reach their own potential. Everybody is born with their own gifts and talents. For those gifts and talents to be used to do what? To benefit them in the world, meaning their home or their community or their city or their town or their country. This is what it's about. So we ain't against nothing except that which is against freedom, that which is against love, that which is against togetherness, that which is against peace, that which is against beauty, joy, togetherness. And that's what all of this politicking is about. And all of this game within a game is about. This guy being hired today from Minnesota. Just think about it, fam. We in 2020, and we can't even in 2020, many of us say with a straight face that what is going on down in Miami is fair and equitable. Many of us know it's not. It's just a continuation of the same old thing. And it don't feel good, whether it affects you directly or your pocketbook or not. And that's why it's come up in the chat. Feel me, DJ?
Right on, man. Right on. Man. I love these type of conversations. Yeah, I love sports, but I like conversations like this. And new media, man, we're here to give you all truth. Because there's things you could pick up, like Coach says, on everyday life and sports. There's always a game to be played. There's always somebody trying to F up some shit. People, when I say things about Lonzo and LaMelo and their teams and what's going on behind the scenes, they would look at me or say something that, oh, you're just guessing. No, it's what I see, it's what I sense. So when I sense that Lonzo would have 16 points today, and I was right, that's because I see what was going to happen. I look at the personnel. It was either he's getting 16 or he's getting close to it. And those same rules apply in world issues. I sense it. And I told some of my closest friends that whoever wins this election, they would never go with what they fully say or even close to it. We're telling you this for a reason. A game within a game, not only on the court, but in life and politics, everything you do. The best thing you could do as a human being is be the best person you can be, to give back if you can, to always be there for a friend, and pray, meditate, so that your mind can be at peace. Any last words, Coach?
Yeah, DJ, I wanted to just share a couple things here, just really quickly, because I know a lot of the people in the chat they want to hear some specifics, because I don't believe in just throwing stuff out without at least representing 1 + 1 is 2, so we all know what we're talking about. So this is from the board of the Federal Reserve, so you can look any of this up. Anybody wants to look this up. What I talked about with the wealth. The way it's broken down is for white household wealth, 25 trillion of it is in real estate. 20 trillion of it is liquid. Another 20 trillion is in pensions. 11 trillion in private businesses, and 20 other trillion in other assets. That's what it looks like. They know where this money is. They know who gets what. If you guys really want to learn something, go to usdebtclock.org and go look at the all of the expenses and the assets and liabilities that go into the United States Treasury every day, all day. Numbers changing, coming in, going out, coming in, going out. They'll tell you everything. You can start learning. But when we look at black wealth, we see about 3 to 4 trillion, and all of it, like I said, is mostly in the hands of pensions of the baby boomers and athletes and entertainers. And Joe Biden, this new administration, needed Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. It needed these states to win. He needed this. He didn't need Georgia, all that stuff they were talking about. He didn't need Georgia to win. He could have won Georgia, and Biden still would have won. But Biden would not have won if he hadn't won Michigan, if he hadn't won Wisconsin, if he hadn't won Pennsylvania. And when the Trump team then were trying to take the votes away, where do you think they were trying to take them away from? Don't use my opinion. Go do your own research. They're trying to take them away from the places where the black people in those states voted for Biden, in the men in the high 80s, 87, 88%, black females 80, 91, 92%. The highest percentages of people broken down by demographics that voted for the Democrats and Biden were black people. White people were split 50-50, were higher for Trump. Hispanics were 60 men, 60 women, men's high 60s, women low 60s, but the overwhelming of the Latinos voted for Trump. We are the only people, and he said in Georgia, if we vote, if we showed up in big numbers in Atlanta in the suburbs and put Ossoff and Warnock in on those senator races, I will remember you. I will remember you, he said. He told us after he won, we are old black Americans, old African American community. He signed over 200 executive orders so far. Not one of them it says anything for anything or for anybody that's in the African American community. We still waiting. This is how we're treated. But people who didn't vote for them in those numbers, they're part of those 200 executive orders that he signed. And in those orders are resources, money, family, not empty promises, money, taxpayer money will be going to these different organizations and these different entities. And one of those executive orders is to help some of Kamala Harris's people over in India. Not against us helping people, but we got people over here that are in need of help. We have African Americans and Black people over here who came through slavery and Jim and Jane Crow that need help. In Texas that need help. Charity starts at home. So that's the last I'm gonna say about it. Thank you, family, for coming out tonight. We appreciate you guys so much for being a part of DJ's Raw Uncut Truth, New Media, Nation United. Appreciate you guys so much. Tomorrow is Melo. We got Melo coming back. I think they're playing Utah. So I think Utah is going to be wanting to shut him down because the way he played last time.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's
coming. Looking forward to that.
But I'm gonna end off by saying, man, let's build new media together. New media is a family, is the new wave. I guarantee you. And thank you guys for being up and enjoying a good show. Peace and blessings to everybody.
1 second, DJ, please. Wealth Engineering, I want you to know I did find you on YouTube and I did subscribe to you and I will be reaching out to you. Appreciate you, my brother.
Will do. And Wealth Engineering says, Coach, we got to make another video on this topic again. Oh, yeah, we do. I'll read this last one. Soul says, thanks, DJ and Coach, for speaking facts 100%. Much love. Much love to you, brother. Shout out to Uncle Vern. He says, new media.
Hey, Uncle Vern, how you doing there, OG? That's my OG there. How you doing, Uncle Vern? Yeah. Bloom is in the house. I see you, Bloom.
You know, I might have to do this with Uncle Vern since he up in here, man.
Let me tell you something. Back in my day, let me show you.